So as you guys know, The Future Is Now is my brand new tour, and it has launched. It's begun, and it launched from Beirut, which was incredible. We finished a record-breaking 6-show run, and that's over 7,000 people this summer. And while I was sad to see the shows go, I did see a recent clip for Dave Chappelle from his last special. And in this clip, he sat and had kind of like a Q&A with the crowd after the show finished. And I thought, why don't I do the same thing? So obviously credit goes to him for the idea. And it was a lot of fun. On the final show on September 5, I told the crowd that if they have anything they want to ask me, they could go ahead. And well, here it is. This is the entire exchange. I want you guys to enjoy it. I'm on tour now. I launched it from Beirut. The Future Is Now my brand new show. And I can't wait for the entire world to see it. It's going to be the biggest world tour yet. Look in the description below for all the dates, and always keep checking because I'm going to keep updating it when we add new dates. There's so much more that's going to be added. Of course, nemrcomedy.com to get your tickets. And, this week I'm going to Cleveland. After that, Oxnard, Los Angeles, New Jersey, Washington, D.C., Kuwait, Dubai, Oman. Like, there's so many dates. So please, if you have any friends or family in these places, let them know. And get your tickets and enjoy the video.
Good night, everybody. Take care. Thank you so much. Thank you. Actually, I'm gonna do something. I thought we talked about this backstage, and I wasn't sure I was gonna do it. It is the last show, and I am actually kind of sad because this has been the most fun I've ever had doing shows in my life ever, anywhere that I've been. And so I know some of you have babysitters. I know some of you have commitments. So if anybody needs to leave, feel free to leave. That's totally cool. For real. Like, that's not a problem. The show's over. But I thought we could do something cool for those who want to stay and don't want to go. I'm thinking I'll pull up a chair, and for like the next 10, 15 minutes, you guys can ask me anything you want about anything. It can be very personal. It can be very non-personal. You can ask whatever you want, and I will answer whatever you ask me 100%. Could be very funny. Could get very emotional. We might sing Kumbaya. By the end of it, we might all start crying. Nobody knows. It could be the most funny thing we've ever done. I have no idea. We'll keep it spontaneous. I'll just pick random people who put their hands up, and we could have some fun. So, does anybody want to do that? Is anybody up for that? Do we have anyone? Okay. I'm going to pull up a chair. If you guys, anybody who wants to leave, feel free to bounce. I don't want to keep you if you have to go. Do we have a chair? Is there a chair? Oh, they're fantastic. Thank you. Let me grab this chair. Thank you, man. This is dual job as a camera guy. This is amazing. There we go. Move this over here. Wow, did everybody stay? Is that okay? Thank you. We didn't do this in any other show, so I'm only teaching you that it pays to wait to buy your tickets, which I don't know if this is a smart move from me or not whatsoever. What, you're giving me a second mic? You want me in stereo? Is that to the people? Oh, they can speak up. Yeah, because what if somebody at the top asks, you're not athletic enough? It's not gonna happen. That's my best friend, Ned. Anybody want to ask me anything? Can be about anything. Put your hand in the sky. Sweet Jesus. Yes. Was that you who screamed like a dying goat? You, sir? Are you French educated? Is that how it went down? This is what USG students sound like after many years. Yes, sir. Oh, it was you. I'm so sorry. Do you mind, sir? Ladies first. Thank you. You're right. Yes, ma'am. I'm doing great. Thank you very much. What series do I watch? Well, see, the thing on Pornhub is it's not really a series. It's more episodal. Like, it's more of a contained episode. The Mia Khalifa files have been especially intriguing. My favorite, the last series I watched, and I know you guys are going to hate me for this, was Breaking Bad, which the best series ever made. And if any of you here are the people who say I couldn't get past the first episode or two, there are a lot of people who say that. Fuck you, you suck. Does that answer your question? I love you too, but ever since we had the baby together, you've been distant, and it's just rude, I've been taking care of him, and you don't even want to see him, so whatever. Sir. Did I get inspired by Dave Chappelle for doing this? The sitting thing? Yes. From his new special, Sticks and Stones. Did you watch it? It's fantastic, isn't it? It's awesome. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. It's awesome. It's really, really good. Dave Chappelle's inspired a lot. I've stolen most of his material. Yeah, who said yo? Yes, sir.
Why do you hate Frenchies?
Who said I hate Frenchies? I admire them. Do you know how difficult it is as a man to be a woman? Do you have any idea? It's coming out better than the show. I admire French people. My father was French educated. And if we hadn't left to America in 1985, I would have been a Chanville student. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Yes. Yes. When is Twitch coming back? On tomorrow, actually. Saturday. Thank you, man. Me and you, the only two people who are virgins, which is fantastic. Nobody even is like, Twitch, does he have a nervous disorder? What's happening? Are you coming to ask me something? That's impressive. I admire your gaucho. What's I will repeat his question. What's my upcoming plans regarding? Okay, great question. So future streams, for those of you who don't know what Twitch is and streams, we're not talking about urination. Twitch is an incredible platform that really is the future, and it's basically, you've probably seen people playing video games, and then they show you what the game is. I take it a bit further than that, where I make it a comedy show. So we stream every day, and I'm basically doing characters and impersonations. Like when we were playing God of War, if you saw the God of War clip that I put here with the guy who looked like Kratos, and I said, boy. We actually programmed a boy counter every time I say boy, and I ruin all the emotional moments. None of this matters to you, but it's a lot of fun, trust me. Plans for future streams, we're gonna keep the gaming. We're adding my best friend George, who now moved to LA, which is why we were on hiatus. And we're adding him gaming duel. We're also gonna have celebrity guests, comedians, and everything that are out in America. And I'm gonna be doing music streams, which I've never done before because I actually play a lot of music. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, and just talking streams and in real life. So it's gonna become a lot more active. So hopefully that answers your question. Thank you. Patrick, any movies coming soon? I don't know. Are you still with Vox? No? No movies then. Only if it's with you. Patrick stood by me in a very difficult time when I released my first movie, Epic. He used to be the manager at Vox. That's how we met. And I didn't know him prior. And he actually allowed me 24/7 access to all the Vox cinemas for a week before the movie premiered, because I paid a Lebanese company to do the color grading and the sound. And they did such a terrible job that in that week I used their cinemas and learned how to color grade and to do sound, and I ended up mastering the audio and the color for Epic myself. And I couldn't have done it without him, so thank you. Yes, ma'am. Do I need my belt? Honestly, when I took the belt off, I was like, this was a very bad decision. So halfway through the show, I don't know if you noticed, like most of the show, my stance widened. I started walking a bit wider because I've lost a bit of weight recently, so the pants that used to be tight are a bit loose. And yeah, so that answers your question. I do need the belt. It was very difficult. But, you know, French-educated men have it much more difficult in life, so. Do you know why French-educated men are women? Do you know the reason? Have you ever bought nuts from a rifai at the airport? Do you know when they ask you, is that a safar? And you say, yeah, and they put it in a machine, and it goes, and it sucks the nuts. That's what being French is like. When you put on French jeans, because they're unisex, they're for men and women, but they design them for women, not for men. So you put them on, and it's just, and they go. So it's very difficult. Yes, ma'am. Will I come to Vienna, Austria? Will you pay for my ticket and the show's expenses? Because I think you're the only person who knows me there. Your friends, all of them? I'm fucking coming. Let's go. How many friends do we have? 100 friends? What are you, some kind of slut? No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking. It was a joke. I apologize profusely. Your man doesn't look French, I'm afraid, so I'm very sorry. Are you her man, sir? How long have you guys been together? 2 years. And are you Lebanese? Where are you from? You're from Vienna. And you, ma'am, from Vienna? Are you okay? What are you doing here? Is everything all right? What the fuck? Oh, they're your friends. And you brought them to my show, man? Thanks so much. Are you Lebanese? Okay, good. I could tell immediately because of the beard. I know, but they don't know that. Sorry, we were having a moment. We've had sex before, so it's a bit difficult. We saw each other. His beard was beautiful, and we made love. And and our beards got stuck, and we're like, yes, ma'am. I'm so sorry, I can't hear a word you're saying. What was that? Can you have your picture? I'll take my picture after if you come up on stage, and then I can't say, then the other, and then right after? I'll come to you. No. Anyone else that I'm not seeing? Yeah, sir. My favorite international comedian, living or dead? And Lebanese comedian. Lebanese comedian is right here, Naim and Natalou. They're sitting right there. That's a very interesting, not even making that up. How many of you here grew up on As-Al-Shi? Like for real? For real. Do you hear that? Also, they have a new show that they just launched online on Instagram and Facebook. It's called Naimu Na'um. So go and check it out because it's hilarious. And it's great. Man, As-Al-Shi was the best. We used to, every Tuesday, it was Tuesday, right? Bil Otokar, the next day. All everybody would talk about was As-Al-Shi and the sketches. It was unbelievable. And your characters, one of my favorite characters is Amin Amin. Was it Amin Amin that used to do the Demis Roussos? You used to keep saying Kasete Demis Roussos in Greece. Unbelievable. The most original fucking characters. I came to Lebanon in 1992. I'm watching TV. I don't understand any Arabic. A TV show pops up. Natalou is running on, this is when Robin Hood Men in Tights, the movie, had come out. Natalou is running. I never forget this. I was 11. Natalou is running from the villain. The villain was, I believe, Naim. And she starts screaming. She goes, rape me, rape me. I'm not making this up. Rape, and then I can't remember who was, maybe somebody else, Naim or somebody goes, Ma bu'ulo rape me, bu'ulo save me. And I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. It was so random. Then, if you remember Robin Hood Men in Tights, they would shoot the arrow and the camera would follow the arrow. So they did the same thing. The guy shoots the arrow, and clearly it's a guy with a camera holding an arrow. He's just holding it and he's walking with the camera on the thing. And بيطلع نعيم على أوتوستراد نهر الموت وبينزل تحت. It was the best fucking thing. That was the first clip I ever saw for us. So shout out to them, they're amazing. And my favorite international, unbelievable. Favorite international, Dave Chappelle. I steal my material from Dave My favorite international comedian, biggest influence on me, who passed away, is a comedian called Bill Hicks. And my favorite comedian, he's incredible, highly recommended, who I think is living today, my favorite, who always delivers, is Bill Burr. I have nothing for guys called Bill, it's just a coincidence, so, yeah. Yes, sir. Oh, well, he's walking all the way up, this guy, very determined. This better be good, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. You have to come forward, that's what she said, all right. It's an interesting position. So how much material? Okay. Wow, okay. So how much material I pick up in Lebanon? Whenever somebody, great question, asks me, how do I come up with so many jokes? We're Lebanese. One family gathering is a career. So when I drive in this country, the amount of material is amazing. Some of my most known sets were the bridge in the middle of the highway, the girl who, you're on the car and she honks. When you have a girlfriend, she honks the horn for you to shout at somebody. If you remember this joke, how many people remember that joke? You remember that one? She's like, she starts honking and who would بيكسر عليك, and she's like, العمى بقلبك خد. And then I'm like, ولو حياتي كل خرا انه شو عم تعملي? And then she goes, العمى بقلبك انت جبان ما بتعرف تدافع عن حقوقك. And then the guy pulls me over and she's like, يلا نزال فرجيني بيضاتك. نزال فرجيني بيضاتك. And I'm like, I could show them to you right here. You did all of this. So that joke, is driving in Lebanon with my ex-girlfriend. That was actually, she used to be like that. She'd be like, "Yalla nzal farjine bayda." And I was like, Jesus Christ. So that answers that question. When am I coming to Sydney, Australia? In 2020, I will be going. We've been working on it for a while. I actually had to put it off in 2019 because I got death threats from Australian Lebanese people. That's a true story. There is a Lebanese Australian guy that many years ago when I had a production company, I did a job for, and he decided not to pay the company, so I sued him with a lawyer. So he basically sent out a death threat for me for going to Australia. So I had to call the rival Lebanese family that hate him. This is Lebanon. This is what it's like to be Lebanese. And you asked me where I get my material. And turned to him and they sent a message. And now I'm going in 2020. I'm apparently safe. Whatever. He comes at me. There's other Lebanese people who all have a lahmiya. Every Lebanese Australian has a lahmiya. And it's like, dude, go to the doctor for fuck's sake. And they're so hyper aggressive on testosterone, the Lebanese Australians. Like, whoa, what are you looking at, Mike? What are you looking at, Mike? And it's like, dude, you were standing behind me. I didn't even see you. What the Oh, yes. What is it? Why did I break up with my fiance? She didn't love me. I love you too. Oh, don't worry. It's fine. Look, let me be very honest with you. How selfish would it be and how narrow-minded would I be when I have so much love from so many people, so much support, so many blessings in my life? I get to do this for a living. That if one person didn't love me, I would let that get to me? Not in a million years. So it was done. Very easy. And she was a whore. Anyway, but I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's a joke. Or is it? No, I'm kidding. No, it's a joke. What's that?
These hoes ain't loyal.
These hoes ain't loyal, my man. That's an OG fan right there. These hoes ain't loyal. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, buy tickets to my shows because they're great. Hey, there was somebody else? Anyone else? Yeah. One more here. Yes. What's the most awkward thing that happened to me in a show? In Dubai, I did a show at Atlantis with and a drunk Russian pilot came up while I was on stage. The stage was about this high, so I was standing about this high, and he came up and walked right up to me and tried to grab my balls. This is 100% true. He just walked up and he tried to, but he was too drunk, so I just stood there as he tried to grab at my balls, and I looked at the security who were just standing and didn't do a thing. And then his friends came and took him away. And then after the show, the security came up to me, and I thought they were Russian, but the security came up to me and he's like, "Shu anta al-comedian al-wahid khod," and he turned out to be Lebanese, and he thought it was very funny. And he didn't do anything to stop the guy from grabbing my testicles. That was the most awkward thing. Would you like to hear the most embarrassing story of my life? I've never told anyone this, and for any of you who respect me, prepare to lose all of that respect. I was, this is a true story. Why am I saying this? Anyways, I was 7 years old in San Diego, and you would go to school, and after the class would finish, you'd have balls to play with. Like, that also sounds wrong. Like basketballs and stuff. And they would choose one student who would give the balls for us to play in recess with. This sounds so bad. To play in recess with. And that student would always get to keep a ball for themselves. And I used to be, people didn't really like me in school because I was always hyperactive. I was always running around. I had hyperactivity and asthma, which is very bad. Because you're like, and then you die, and then you wake up. It was a very bad combination. So I never got any balls, right? And so one day, the teacher chooses me to give the balls out during break, which is fucking amazing. But the thing is, I was about to piss in my pants 10 minutes before she chose me, so I had to go to the bathroom. But here was my dilemma. Do I go to the bathroom, give up the opportunity of having a ball and perhaps never see it again? Or do I try to power through it like a man? So I tried to power through it. I grabbed the ball and I was like, who wants, this was me. This was exactly what I was doing because I'm about to literally piss in my pants. I'm like, who wants a ball? Who wants a ball? Like who the fuck wants a ball in this very moment? And I'm just fucking launching these balls at these children. Finally, I give the last ball up and I pick the last final ball, which I'm going to keep for myself. And as I'm holding it in the sky with everybody looking at me, I pissed my pants then and there with everyone looking at me. And I ran out into the bathroom and I stayed there until my mom came with a change of clothes. But I did get the ball, so it wasn't all too bad. True story. True story. Yes, sir. Mega Man 3. Hands down. Best game ever made. I can sing the entire soundtrack to you and I'll get very emotional and you don't want to see me do that. You, yes, ma'am, you out there. Stand-up comedy is hard. How do you power through to get here? Oh. Drugs. No, I'm kidding. I don't do drugs. I've never done drugs. Not once in my life. I don't drink either. Comedy is very difficult, and it's a craft. And that's why the comedians that were here on stage have all had their journeys. And to get to this level is you can't understand you can't really understand how difficult stand-up comedy is as a craft, because it's not sketch comedy. It's not a play. You're talking about things and you're hoping people like you and they like what you say. I think the only way to power through it is to do what every stand-up comic does, constantly be uncomfortable and not care if you don't do well. And usually when you can do that, it helps if you've pissed your pants in front of a class at the age of 6. You don't really have any self-value, and it becomes very easy to do this. You just power through. And every time you bomb on stage is one less time you're going to bomb in your lifetime. So that knowledge means that you're getting closer to never bombing again. And that's why I called my show No Bombing in Beirut, because it was a play on words on that thing. There you go. All right, let's take 2 more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. Sir. Imitate French people again? How many people know my joke about Karim? Make some noise if you don't know the Karim joke. Oh boy, let's end the show on this then. This is my favorite set ever, but I don't do it anymore because I did it and I thought everybody knew it, but I guess I can bring it back now. Are you guys ready for this? Okay. This story involves 3 characters. Karim, la mère de la Karim, and la père de la Karim. And I know a lot of people are saying, no, Nemr, it's le père. Trust me, la père de la Karim. Trust me on this. I'm flying from Dubai to Lebanon. It's Christmas time. The plane is packed. It's packed. There's no place on the plane. We take off, and there's a kid. His name is Karim, and he's sitting next to him is la mère de la Karim. And la mère de la Karim has with her a Nintendo 3DS, an iPad, and a PlayStation Vita for la Karim. By the way, he's 6. I didn't even have clothes when I was 6, so I just want to make this very clear. And Karim is sitting and he's being the shittiest child you've ever seen in your life. Like the whole time, and his mom is just sitting there. We're like, and his mom, and he looks and he goes, and she goes, Karim, pourquoi tu pleurais, Karim? She takes out the Nintendo. Le Nintendo 3DS, Karim, Nintendo 3DS! And he slaps the Nintendo 3DS out of his mother's hand. And all of us on the plane were like, oh shit! Karim's about to get his ass kicked! We got so excited because we hate this kid. We took out our cameras, we started filming, we're like, let's fucking go. This is gonna be it. But no. If this happened, by the way, if I had slapped it out of my mom's hand like that, my father would have killed me. Like literally there, slit my throat, thrown me off the plane. My mom would have been like, La Joseph, he'd be like, Malim and Beirut la Manzour. And it would have been done. Done. I might have 6, 7 brothers and sisters before me, I'll never know. But no, he slaps the Nintendo 3DS, so all his mom is like, no, Karim, le iPad, Karim, le iPad! He slaps the iPad out of his mother's hand. Le PlayStation Vita, Karim, le PlayStation Vita! He slaps the PlayStation Vita out of his mother's hand. And at that moment, from the front of the plane, La Père de la Karim, like a homosexual phoenix, rises and turns around, and we're like, oh shit! That's why Karim didn't get his ass kicked, because his dad, it's a packed flight, he was sitting in the front. Now he's heard it, he's gonna come and kill his son. So he walks over, we all take out our cameras again, the hope has risen, we're filming, he walks up to his son, he looks at him and he goes, Karim? No! And Karim's like, yeah, I'm a difficult mind. He's like, Karim? No. لا ما أنا بس كريم نو يعني نو لا كريم ما تخليني أعيد حالي مرتين لا كريم لا كريم ما أقدر أنا أنت I was like كسختك أخطب ولا كريم أنا تكف خلصنا منه بعيني بيك بعيني. So the Père de la Karim turns around and looks at me and goes, أنا ما بمد إيدي على ابني. قلت له مد إيدك ما تمد إيدك حقرته كف بزقوا أسنانه خليني يطيروا فوتوا عند البايلوت قدام الطيار يجي يطلع على الأوب بارلور يعمل أنونسمون. Which translates into في عندي درس عقل إذا حدا بده إياه بس لا ابعته لورا. So his father looks at me and we start having a conversation with our eyes. We're just staring at each other and he's looking at me. He's like, hey man, like don't fucking talk to me that way. I'm like, dude, you used to be a man once. Do you remember many years ago as a child before you wore the French jeans, you used to have these things. Do you remember them? Remember, before Justin Bieber became your hero, just think hard and remember. And he's like, I remember, but can I ever have that power back? And I have to fight you now to preserve my honor. And we're having this argument with our eyes, but at that moment, he turns around and he looks at Karim, and Karim is fucking quiet. So his father looks at him like, okay. He looks at me and he's like, hey man, I'm like, look, I'm gonna make you, so I said on a loud voice, I was like, بعتذر منك. Please ما تضرب. Just to give. So he walks away, we give our men's approval, and it's done. And that's it, Karim, quiet. The whole flight. People start walking by me and thanking me like I saved them from a terrorist situation. He's like, thank you. But an hour and 42 minutes later, it begins again. We hear it from the side of the plane. And immediately La Père de la Karim turns right around and he goes, Karim, ببعتك عند المسيو. And I was like, fuck yeah, I am the monsieur. Bring me your children. And that's my time, man. You are the fucking best, Lebanon. You have a good night. I will love you forever. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Good night.